Coach?
Well, first of all, so I was really proud of our kids, how we played during our 4 games here. Credit to Kevin and his group for winning the day. We played them 5 times this year. 4 of them were tight. They compete really well. I thought our kids did as well. We're just to run short. I'm really proud of our kids. That's it.
Thank you, Coach. We'll go ahead and take a few questions for AJ, if there are any. We'll start here, front row on the end.
AJ, it obviously didn't end the way that you wanted it to, but just this run and the way you guys ended the regular season, do you feel like you're maybe peaking at the right time, getting hot at the right time, entering the tournament?
Yeah. Right now we're swinging the bats really well, and our pitching's coming around, so it's looking good for us. You know, our last conference series in Georgia, and then our 4 games here. We played really well, and so I think we've got some momentum going into the regionals, and we're excited to see where we go, and you know, we feel like we're a team that nobody wants to face right now. So we got a lot of confidence, and we're really excited to get out there and see who we're going to play.
Other questions for AJ? Anything else? No? Okay. AJ, you head to your locker room. Thank you for coming in. We'll take a question or two, see what you guys have for Coach Henderson. Let's start here on the second row.
Gary, I guess a couple of weeks ago, with a couple of results, you guys were kind of on the bubble a little bit. Obviously, you guys, with the way you kind of played here in the last week or so, are pretty safely in. Obviously, probably a 2 seed at this point. I guess just talk about the way this team's played over the last week or so. You guys seem to be clicking pretty well.
Well, Kendall, what you're talking about is week 7 and week 8. I mean, it's, you know, the thing that's so great about athletics is that you can't hide. You are what you are, and we did what we did. We went 1-5 in 2 weeks, and that put you on the bubble. We had a much better start than that, but that's how we played for 2 weeks. And then, you know, I'm really proud of our kids. You get them together, and you talk about staying positive, and you talk about having each other's back and belief in themselves and belief in the coaches and all those things that make team sports great. And our kids, they bought into themselves, they bought into the coaches, they bought into each other. It's been awesome. Anybody that's watched us, you can feel it, you can see it. It's you know, it's whatever you want to call it, synergy or body language. We've also really improved in poise overall in the program. The poise, especially on the mound over the last month, has been tremendous. And that piece of it's really gratifying because you keep pounding, and you pound that, you know, it's in August 25th you pound that, you know, and it's relentless with that. And then it finally comes around somewhere in early May, and there's no rhyme or reason really other than you just been talking about it and trying to reinforce it and teach it, and, you know, that's what it is, you know, and it worked, you know. And so I'm really proud of our kids, and we don't take anybody for granted, you know, but we're playing well right now, and we're confident.
It's kind of a follow-up to that. From a pitching standpoint, you guys were able to get a lot of guys work, but you look at the way Kyle threw coming back this week. You look at the way Chandler threw for you guys, being able to come back healthy. How big is that to get those 2 guys kind of rolling? And also talk about kind of how you plan on setting up pitching here moving forward. You guys have a few more options than you maybe did, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, those are good questions. They're the right ones. And the answer is I'm not sure that you can measure what it means to have Shepard and Cody healthy. You know, we didn't have them. You know, excuses because of injuries are, you know, those are relevant. Everybody has injuries over the course of 56 games. But, you know, we had ours together. They were very impactful. They hurt us. Having those 2 kids back has given the entire team a shot of adrenaline, a shot of energy. And so from that standpoint, it's really important. Whether or not we start Shepard, Nelson, or Cody or Reed the first game, I don't know. I'm just going to wait and see. And that's the best I can tell you and the almost honest I can be. I'm a guy that likes to have it pretty regimented, and I like to know what it is. And if you look at me over the years, that's exactly what I've done. But it's been different this year for the obvious reasons. And, you know, that's probably good for my own personal growth, but I don't particularly care for it. But that's just the way it's been, you know, and you look at the 3 or 4 or 5 years prior to that, I'm a guy that's, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's what we're doing. I don't care what you're doing, but we've had to change that this year. And having said that, we'll see who we're playing and what makes sense, and AJ will go, you know, with whatever makes sense. And then we'll figure out, you know, which one of those other 3 guys gets to start.
Second row.
Sorry, Gary, I'm wearing you out over here.
That's okay.
I guess looking at Florida, you guys obviously now are very accustomed to those guys. I guess from your perspective, they're not overly flashy, but from your perspective, what makes them so dangerous without being flashy?
The Gators haven't played them. The thing that I always think about Kevin's team is that they compete at a really high level, and they almost always play really, really well defensively. He's one with teams with tremendous power. This team obviously doesn't have as much as some of the other teams that he's had. He always has pitch and depth. He's always got velocity in the bullpen. He can match you up. He didn't have to do as much of that today, but he usually does more of the left-right. They're well coached. But the thing that I think about the Gators is they almost always play extremely well defensively, and they compete at a really high level. They don't take at-bats off or pitches off.
We'll take one here on the end here, front row, right by you.
You talked about some of the pitching you relied on this week. A lot of them were young.
Yeah, I said it again. I'm sorry.
The pitching.
Yeah.
You talked about them this week, but Michael Thomas was there to catch every pitch this week. How much have you come to rely on him, and how important is he in that role?
Well, I've been asked that a lot in the last month, and for good reason. You know, a kid spends 5 years with you. There's a different level of relationship, especially when he's a catcher. You know, there's it's really an awesome relationship in terms of how it grows and how it changes over years. You know, because of the time, and then he gets to the spot where he knows what I'm going to say or think or do, and that's how that relationship should be. And so we're going to miss him when he's gone, but we got some more baseball to play. But I have a lot of respect for Michael. He's done a lot of things. You know, he's moved from a guy that walked on to a guy that's catching every game for, I don't know, for a good SEC baseball team, and he's right in the middle of it, hitting and catching. I'm really proud of him.
Other questions for Coach Henderson?
All right,
Okay,
thanks.
thank you, Coach.
Yeah.